Hello friends, welcome to Cook to Nourish. Today I want to spend some time doing a detailed video for making cassava tortillas or cassava rotis. This is because I have a couple of videos there and there are some people who still tell me that when they try making the tortilla doesn't come as good as how mine comes. So that's why I wanted to take some time to really go over the details. I also want to talk about the flours that I use. So the only two flours that I recommend for making cassava rotis using my recipe are basically Anthony's premium cassava. So this is very important because Anthony's has two different varieties out there. Anthony's organic cassava flour, do not use that for this recipe because it will not work for this recipe. What you can use, however, is Anthony's premium cassava, okay? Or you can also always use Otto's cassava flour. Now, but these two work well for this recipe, although the amount of water that you will require to knead the dough can vary depending upon what brand you use. Therefore, I always give approximate, and that's why in this video I'll really explain what to look for when you're adding the water. Because it's very hard to really pre-specify amount of water. So I will really highlight those things in terms of what to look for when you're making the dough, how to add the right amount of water. And the other thing I want to also really point out is that even if you either stick to one brand like Otto's or the Anthony's Premium, however, the consistency of the flour, I think it's just a property of cassava flour, the way it is manufactured, that batch to batch variations occur. So even within Otto's, you will find that one time you're adding, about 1 cup of water, and the other time you're required to add a little bit more. So that kind of change will happen. So that's why I always give an approximate measure for the amount of quantity, for the amount of water, because it's going to change batch to batch. Even within the same batch, it's going to change. So that's one thing you have to remember. Then the other thing I want to talk about is also that I have variations of this recipe. So today I will show you one variation of this recipe, which is, my original cassava roti only has cassava flour. But in this, I will show you how adding something else will actually make the texture even better. So that's one thing. And then I also have another recipe out there which is called as cassava, which is based on a mix of cassava flour and water chestnut flour. So that recipe is also good. I will put a link in the description box for that recipe. So that's a variation, but that also gives very good chapati or roti or tortilla, and that's something you may want to try. And as I said, additionally today also I will give you a slight variation of this recipe, and so you can try that too, or you can just stick to the basic just using cassava flour. All those three variations will work. The other thing, I will throughout the video I'm going to show you detailed tips and tricks from making the dough to rolling it to cooking it, and to finally storing it, how you can do it so that you get the best possible tortilla or roti. And lastly, I also have a gluten-free roti or tortilla recipe video out there already, where I'm using a made or a store-bought gluten-free atta or gluten-free flour, and that also is an option for people who are not completely grain-free. Okay, but in this recipe, I'm only going to be making grain-free rotis. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, to begin, first you start by keeping a kettle for boiling water. So I have that going already, and while water is boiling, I'm going to take a mixing bowl here and start by adding the flours. So the cassava, I'm going to do today's recipe using Otto's cassava flour. I'm going to measure 1 cup of this. I'm going to get exactly 1 cup. You can see it's a heaping 1 cup. And then I'm going to add some salt, about a 1/4 teaspoon. of salt. Now you can just go ahead and make the recipe just using this, but for today's variation, and what I have found, it really makes the tortillas even, gives it a better texture and flavor. What I recently started doing is adding a tablespoon of tiger nut flour. So this is tiger nut flour, so you just add a tablespoon of tiger nut flour. Now this is just an additional variation, it's optional. If you don't have tiger nut flour, you can just do cassava flour. Okay, so we have all the flours. If tiger nut flour has any lumps, make sure you just break those, and then just mix these dry ones slowly to mix everything. And then we are going to add a tablespoon of oil. Extra virgin olive oil is what I'm using. You can also use avocado. So I'm just going to add it like that, and next we'll be adding the hot water. So I have my boiling water here. As you can see, the steam coming, so it was boiling, and I just took it off. Now we are going to add this water. So approximately we need approximately 1 cup of water, the same amount as the flour, but it can vary. So I'm going to have a half cup measuring, that's what I use, and I add it in portions. So I'm going to add half a cup first, and as I'm adding also I'm kind of stirring. And the goal here is to get all the flour wet. Okay, so you can obviously see that still a lot of the flour is, not wet. So you add the next half. Again, add it slowly. I still have some remaining. But you have to work fast. That's one of the things. You have to work very fast with this. And yeah, there's obviously a lot of dry flour, as you can see, so I'm going to add the rest of it also. Just looking here, I'm seeing like a lot of dry flour here. See at the bottom? So which means in this case I'm going to need more than the 1 cup. I have already added 1 cup, but I can see a lot of dry flour on the bottom. So I'm going to add some more. So I'm going to have another half cup ready, but I may not use the whole thing. I'm going to just add like another quarter, not even quarter, less than that, a little bit, and see if that takes care of all the dry flour or not. See, everything is coming together now, but I feel like it is slightly dry, maybe at the bottom. It looks like a little bit hard, so I'm going to just use a tablespoon measure and just add another tablespoon, and that's it, because I don't want to add any more. I think that's it. That takes care of all the dry flour. So as you can see in this, although we added 1 cup of cassava flour, we ended up using 1/4 cup of water. I still have 1/4 cup remaining in this, so we ended up adding 1 1/4 cup of water. But again, don't take just my measure for it. It will, what really makes the difference is what the dough looks like. This is how you want the dough to look like. It should be really smooth and no dry flour in it. So I'm going to let it rest, because it's very hot now to put your hand in it. So I'm going to cover it and let it rest. Okay, so I'm just going to cover it with a piece of cloth and let it rest for 2-3 minutes until you can handle it. So it's been resting for 2 minutes. Now it's still warm, but I can handle it. So what I'm going to do next is add a little bit more of olive oil, so about a tablespoon more, or half a tablespoon or so of the oil, and then just knead it so it gets really smooth. So I waited for 3 minutes so that it gets a little bit, cools off a little bit. It was really hot, and see this, the texture is this way. It's really smooth. As you can, soft and smooth. It's soft and then it's very really kind of supple. So that's the texture of the dough, and that makes a difference in when you roll. Okay, so now the next thing is we'll have to roll it. So I like to use this kind of a rolling board. This is a cheese board, marble cheese board that you can buy from some specialty stores, or probably you can find it online. So this, I bought it from TJ Maxx, and it's actually stable, so it helps you to roll. And this is also a rolling pin that I have from India, but hopefully you can find something similar, or you could also use your regular rolling pin that is broader. But this shape actually helps to roll it faster. And the other important thing to notice, do not keep the dough uncovered. So always keep it covered so that it doesn't get dried. Okay, so right now I'm going to show you how to ideally cover it, not just with cloth but with like a lid, because then a cloth also allows moisture to pass through. So don't do that, just use a regular lid. Now break this dough. You can do about 10 chapatis or rotis with this. So you can either already break it into 10 balls. I just do it as I go along. So around this much quantity, roll it. See how soft it is. I'm able to roll it really fast. It's very soft. I don't have to put any pressure. So the making the dough is really very important, how you make the dough. And this is very soft. I have some extra cassava flour here for dusting, and then so you put it and you are able to roll it. It does not even stick to this because that's how supple it is. The hot water does that trick, but it has to be completely hot. See, now that's the round or close to round shape that I got, and see, it's really supple. I'm heating a cast iron pan. That's the best to cook this. And or you can also use a non-stick, but cast iron pan is preferable. So this is, make sure it's completely hot. And then while it's on medium heat, we will be adding this. So let it cook for about a minute and a half. And then, you see some kind of bulging, and then you turn it. See, you can see the spots already. And now you can see it puffing up. See how it's puffing up? It's amazing how much it puffs up. So, and the more you press on it, the more it'll puff even more. Let it cook on the other side even for another minute or so. See, it's all like puffing up. So now you can turn it. Just make sure there is no plain spots. It's also important to put the tortillas like this, in a flat baking tray, or a large plate individually so that they get to cool down, because when they are hot and if you stack them on top of each other, then they will actually stick to each other and they become even more gooey. But let them kind of spread it out, let them be like cool down, and see the texture of it. Just wanted to show how beautiful the texture is. It's like really soft and supple. So then you can, now they're cool, now you can stack them on top of each other, and then pack it in aluminum foil or in a dish and keep them in the refrigerator for 3 to 4 days. And when you are taking them, you again need to ideally what I like to do is put them in on a plate, and then with a wet paper towel, and then microwave for like 10 seconds. That's the best. That way you'll still have the like the texture. And then what do you do about this? Now I've made 5, so there's more dough left. The best thing is to make all 10 together, 10 or 11, how many you can make depending on the size, and then store the tortillas as is. However, if you don't have time to make all, then you can store this too in the refrigerator for about 4 to 5 days. But you will need to most likely, once you thaw it to room temperature, or in the microwave, it might still be dry, and you would need to add a little bit of hot water to again get the dough to this consistency. For that reason, I like to kind of better to make all of them at once. But I also end up sometimes being lazy to do the whole batch, and then I'll just put it in the refrigerator, which is okay, but you will need to rehydrate it.